Dr. Herbert Harris here. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Motivation Monday. Hey, Sade, Lundy, give me a call, my buddy. I'm sorry I missed your call. Everyone is here today. What a beautiful day. We have people joining us on Instagram and on YouTube. Beautiful. Just give a little mood music here as we are preparing for today. You know, another great Monday as we're starting a new month. And one of the things that we've been really focusing on is the number one thing, the number one concept that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. Good morning, Quentin. Della, thank you for joining us today. And of all the things that really control our lives, we are reading from the 12 Universal Laws of Success. But of all the things that control our lives, it is our thinking. Our thinking, let's see. Lundy says volume. Let's see if I can turn our volume up a little bit. I think we can. All right. Beautiful. Okay. One of the main things I think that really impacts our lives, where everything else flows from that, is our thoughts. And when we're preparing to make the changes in our lives to go forward, you know, we just finished what, couple months of the year. We're now getting into this next phase of the year. And so it's extremely important from this point on now to really focus in on the tools we need to get where we want to go. Those of you who are not familiar, be sure to visit our website, herbertharris.com, and to check out the Success Toolbox, because it's about having the tools to create that you desire. If you want to build a house, you need proper tools. If you want to build a skyscraper, you need proper tools. If you want to build a dream, you need proper tools. And the most powerful tool that we ever have is our thinking. Earl Nightingale said, "You become what you think about most of the time." Buddha said, "Our thoughts are the foundation of our lives." And so this idea of your thoughts being, you might say, job one. If your thoughts are not congruent with your life and what you want to be, do, and have, it's not going to happen. If you don't encourage, develop, and practice positive, empowering thoughts, negative thoughts will creep in. Our mind is like a great garden. We have the ability to plant flowers, to cultivate those flowers, but we also have the obligation to pull up the weeds. Nobody has to plant weeds. Weeds grow on their own. If you just clear the yard, clear everything from a garden, and you come back in a few days, the weeds are growing. So where'd they come from? I didn't plant them. Because that's like the negative aspect of the universe. Wherever there's an up, there's a down. Wherever there is light, there is darkness. Kolonichi, thank you for joining us. G Major Sound, thanks for joining us. And so in chapter 1 of the 12 Universal Laws of Success, we talk about the law of thought. Thoughts become things in accord with the nature and feeling of the thought. More personally, your thoughts manifest in your life experience in accord with the emotions and feelings you associate with your thoughts. Proverbs 23rd chapter 7th verse says, "For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." So let's universalize it. That's a good word, universalize. For as a mind, man or female, as a mind thinketh in its heart, so is it. As they think it in their heart, so are they. And so to think in your heart means how you really feel inside about that particular thought. Which emotions and feelings are associated with the thought? When we talk about in the heart, what does that mean? There's another great scripture, and we're not talking religion today, but I'm just giving you some passages from the book because we use the Bible as a motivational tool, as a spiritual foundation for success thinking. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Your heart is the center of your true feelings, the center of your emotions. It is always focused on the things that are important to you. It is always focused on your value system and how you feel about yourself. So we often hear the phrase, talking in the path, walking in the grass. I was listening to a talk, a prosperity talk, and the person was really sharing some profound thoughts about success, about being able to write your goals and to lay out your goals in a specific way, and then to take action, to make plans and take actions on those goals, and how you could accumulate money and the surplus over income exceeding your expenses to create surplus to be available to invest. And it was a beautiful, beautiful presentation. And afterwards in the conversation, the person was saying, someone had invited them to go on a tour. And their question was, well, who's going to pay for it? And I guess the person was a little surprised. He said, because I can't afford it. Look, my money is funny. I don't have $150 to go on this tour. And so it made you back up. So people talk in the path, but walk in the grass, so they can be talking success, but feeling failure. Talking positivity, but feeling negativity. And so in this idea of your thinking and your feeling, as you begin to create the life that you desire, you must focus on the positive, not just in the rational part of your mind, but in the feeling. So when you say, I'm wealthy, I am financially secure, you can use the words, but you must also have the feeling, I am financially secure. If you have the thought that financial independence is one of your primary objectives in life, then financial independence should manifest in your life over a reasonable period of time. If it does not, I have talked to people who've been, the last 10 years I've talked with them, they've been broke. They've been, I don't have the money to do the things I want to do. And I'm not hopping on money. It can be relationships. You talk to people for the last 10 years, they've been in the same type of negative and disempowering relationships. So if whatever you say you want does not manifest in your life over a reasonable period of time, then there may be some emotions, some negative feelings that are undermining your efforts. Just let that sink in for a moment. Because I know that many of us have been on the success path for many years and have been attempting to do many things. But if over time those things are not manifesting, then it's time to look into your feeling nature. What you recognize in your thinking, you energize in your feelings. So when you think success, but feel failure, you get failure. Because what you energize in your feelings, you realize in your life experience. So this idea of your thoughts being the seeds for your life is critical. So it's important that we be in charge of take charge of our thoughts. The thoughts that we have really come primarily in three forms. They're the thoughts we have about ourselves, our self-image, how we see ourselves. How we see ourselves is the filter through which everything that happens to us in life happens. So you can see a person talking success but walking poverty. I remember a man once asked Reverend Ike, he said, Reverend Ike, how many miles do you get to a gallon in a Rolls Royce? And Reverend said, lady said, you know, nobody ever asked me that. I never thought about how many gallons I get to a mile, how many miles I get to a gallon. But Reverend answered the man in a very simple way. He said, it's adequate, meaning that whatever it is, it works. So thoughts you have about your self-image, how you see yourself. Then there are thoughts you have about other people, your attitude and the basis for your relationships. And then there are thoughts you have about the world in general, your world perspective, your outlook on life. So today I'm just going to look at one little piece of that, the self-image, how you see yourself, because everything starts there. How you see yourself in your own eyes determines what you get out of life. Self-image is your own conception of yourself. It is the mental and emotional picture you hold in your own consciousness of who you are, what you're about, and what you represent. Your self-image is important because it is the starting point of your life experiences. The image you hold of yourself is like a great vase into which all of your life experiences are poured and blended. If your self-image is a small, limited conception of yourself based on ignorance, fear, doubt, insecurity, then all of your life experiences will be filtered through those negative emotions. On the other hand, if your self-image is based on knowledge, love, courage, respect, faith, and confidence, your life experience will be filtered through those same positive emotions. Self-image determines your capacity to give, receive, and interact with the life experiences and possibilities that confront you. Your self-image is like a magnet, attracting or repelling like or unlike qualities into your life experiences. One more statement. You attract thoughts, people, and experiences that are congruent with, consistent with how you think and feel about yourself. Whew. Now, folks, this is a good news and this is a bad news. Okay. The good news is that how you think about yourself determines what your interaction with the world will be. The bad news is that how you think about yourself determines what your interaction with the world will be. Paradise Pink, thanks for joining us. Knowledge Born, thanks for joining us. And so this fundamental concept of your thoughts and how you feel about yourself now is where we need to start the work. Because if we're not feeling good about ourselves, everything that we interpret is going to be impacted by that negativity. Quentin, thank you so much. Quentin bought our badge, bought the first badge today, and I encourage all of you, if you love the message, want to support what we're doing, please purchase a badge, and we greatly appreciate you, and we thank you so much for that. So this self-image piece is just critical, because if you don't see yourself as being the victor, then it's very easy to see yourself as being the victim. And the challenge is that so much of what happens in our self-image is the result of other people's thoughts. So what do you mean, Doc? In those early years, that first stage of life, those first 20 years, but really particularly those first 7 years, the environment in which we were raised was controlled and defined by someone else. Our parents, our foster parents, relatives, authority figures. And so as children, we learn to think, and even more importantly, we learn how to feel about ourselves from other people. And so if we were raised in an environment of negativity, if we were raised in an environment of criticism, if we were raised in an environment of abuse, of drug activity, of all of these things that can hurt your mind and hurt your body, as a child, you really can't process these things because you're not equipped yet with the rational foundation to understand. So when somebody says you're a dumb little boy at 6 years old, when you hear that, you don't have that normally that internal foundation to say that's not true, especially when it's coming from a parent or somebody that you respect. And so if we are up against something where it just seems like we keep grinding and grinding and never getting to the end result that we desire, then it's time to stop, go into the closet, and start self-diagnosing. Now, let me just warn you, self-diagnosing may not be enough. So I'm a firm believer in getting help. You know, when you're very sick, when you cut your finger, the other day I was walking along and this lady has palm trees planted in her front yard, and I stopped to talk with her, and I raised my hand, and one of the palms had a needle and cut my hand. It bled just a little bit. I came home, I put alcohol on it and put a Band-Aid. So that's self-help. So sometimes our condition and our thinking can be such that we can fix it ourselves. But if you have a persistent, repetitive, let's just say, state of disappointment and failure, and just your life not manifesting the way you want it to manifest, that you have trouble with relationships, and if you go back over your life over the last 20, 30, 40 years, every relationship has been a duplication of the same person in different clothing, a different haircut, a different body. Maybe you go back over your life and you say, I've been from job to job to job to job, and I never can seem to find the job I love. Anytime you have a lot of repetitive negativity, then the self-image, and even more important, the self-esteem, how you feel about yourself, may be a clue, may be a place to look. So do the self-diagnosis. But after a while, when you find that, for example, if I put a Band-Aid on it, and then 2 days later, I see it getting dark, and I realize it's getting infected, I don't have the tools to fix that. I better go to the doctor. I better go to urgent care. And so that's the way it is in our lives. If we have done the Band-Aid type things, and yet we're still getting the same type of results in our lives, then it may say you need help. Help outside yourself. Albert Einstein said you can't solve a situation at the same level of consciousness that created it. And so, similarly, when we go outside to get help, now it may be professional counseling. Sometimes you just need to talk to somebody who can ask those questions that pierce through some of the deception that has been put there by other people and allowed to fester. Very often in life, we have that now the hand stick and the Band-Aid was an example, but sometimes we have a catastrophic thing in life, like a big accident where you get your head and you break your arm and all that stuff, and you have to go to the hospital. There are times when we need to go to the hospital of our minds to be healed. So this message today, the law of thought, what you think about yourself is critical. When we look back on some of the things that have impacted our self-image, to start seeing what we can do to diagnose and to fix it, to realize that, of course, many of the thoughts, emotions, and feelings that we have right now were developed in those first 7 years of our lives. To realize that our environment can impact our self-image. You know, we live in an environment, you can be in an environment where it's very negative. People live in a war zone. It gives you a whole nother self-image. It can also be the people you're around, your associations that affect your self-image. So the key to success and to transforming yourself, step one is to get a clear understanding of who you are and what you're about. Who you are and where you're going. Who you are and what you want to become. And so I'll leave the point right here, because until you resolve this idea of your self-image, all the things that you've been getting, you will continue to get. One of the tools that we've been really promoting to help you deal with the self-image and help you deal with the transformational things necessary to get you out of a rut, to pull you out of a hole, to take you to the next level in your life, is, of course, the right tools. We have our success toolbox, and I'm hopping on this. Someone once said, Dr. Harris, you're always selling. I'm always sharing stuff that I believe will really help you. I mean, of course, you buy it, okay? But the whole point is that if you want to transform your life from what it is to what you want it to be, you need a toolbox. You need the proper tools. And our product, the Success Toolbox, has everything you need to get anything you want. It has, of course, the digital version of the 12 Universal Laws of Success, and something you don't get somewhere else, the workbook that goes with the book. There's a workbook that goes with the 12 Universal Laws of Success. You get that. You get something you can't buy anywhere on the planet except through us, the 12 Universal Laws of Success audiobook. Over 6 hours of recorded information, the book on tape, as they say. You also get the New You Home Study Course. And this is why I'm hopping on this today, because the New You Home Study Course is the process by which you look at that self-image. You assess your situation, your self-image, the results that you've been getting in your life. You develop new vibrations to change what you've been getting to into what you want it to become. We help you set new goals and lay out a plan to accomplish those goals. But it all starts with your self-image, how you see yourself. There are other goodies, other tapes and audios and 12 affirmation posters and workbooks and things that go with it. But I challenge you, go check it out for yourself. Go to our website, herbertharris.com, and click on Success Toolbox and look at all the goodies there. And I'll tell you this, if you're serious about transforming your life from what it is to exactly what you want it to be, you'll get that Success Toolbox. So once again, go to www.herbertharris.com and check out the Success Toolbox. Wow. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for the badges. This message was a little different today, I know, but it's important. Until you get the proper foundation, everything you build will be built upon sinking sand. So the law of thought gives you the bridge, gives you the foundation. The law of thought manifesting through that self-image, how you see yourself. On that proper self-image, you can build the house of your dreams, the life of your vision, and realize the purpose for which you were created. Dr. Herbert Harris saying, thank you so much for being with us today. Be sure to visit our website, herbertharris.com. And remember this, you can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do. You can have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is.